As we know, there are known knowns. There are things we know we know. We also know there are known unknowns. That is to say, we know there's some things we do not know. But there are also unknown unknowns. The ones we don't know, we don't know.
Yes, yes, yes. It's Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. Let me turn myself up in the cans. Let me turn myself up in the cans. Okay, where are we? Let me do my early sound check. Damn. That was a time delay. That's one hell of a time delay. What's going on? Damn, seems like 20 seconds. What's going on? What's going on? Let me check again. Let me check back. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. That's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. Yeah, sounds good. Okay, let's get out of that. Let's not get transfixed in the sound check. Okay. Where are the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio crew? Where are you? Okay. Starting a little bit later than planned, but you know what? I always promise I will get the product to market. That's like a price promise. I'll always find a way. I'll always find a way to get the product to market some way, somehow, in some way, shape, or form. Okay. So you are in tune to Boxing Talk with Raphie. What number are we on? 107. Yes, yes, yes. And it's probably a good thing there's not many people in here. I've just seen Marla up in the building. Probably a good thing there's not many people in here because we are, well, not probably a good thing, but it's okay, is what I'm saying. It's okay. Because I always like to start this thing off. I often like to start this thing off. Yes, yes, yes. I see you now. I often like to start this thing off with a warm-in video. Marla in the building. Pablo Diablo up in the building. And yeah, I think it's as good a time as any to start crank up the warming video to allow people to populate the area. I have one in mind. Let me see what's going on here. Breaking through. Yeah, I see it. I see it. Okay, let's get this baby lined up. And let's go straight to the warm-in video. Without delay, allow the area to populate. Okay, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Okay. So, you are in tune to Boxing Talk with Raphie, and this is the place where we congregate to talk all things boxing and beyond. That means anything I want to talk about, I talk about. We had a trial in here one time talking about, oh, Raphie, you're supposed to just talk about boxing, Raphie. My friend, you can go and, yeah, I'll try to keep it polite so I won't finish off the sentence. Saw the same guy over on, what was it, Twitter. Bumped into him. One of my followers is his followers, so I bumped into him and he's got up in his thing. I'm not even going to, he calls himself what is it? Let me look for it. Let me look for the exact words he used. It's highly entertaining. Same cat, same dude. What did he write? I got it here somewhere. What did he write? Highly interesting. Where is it? Is this it? That's not it. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Oh, calls himself an expert troll. Yeah, an expert troll. Be careful who you listen to, folks. Be careful who you listen to. You have people passing themselves off as this and that. And when you check them out, when you do a little research study, not even a research study, but, when you come across them in a different situation, you'll find out nothing. The cat is nothing but a troll. highly hilarious, highly hilarious. But without much further ado, so there you go. There's a life lesson for you. I'd already figured it out anyway, but there's a life lesson for you. And without much further ado, let's get into the warm-in video. ASAP, immediately. And let's kill the music with this. Should I fade auto or should I just bam, do it abruptly? I think we went for the abrupt option. Could have been a mistake, but no, we're still alive, so we good.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
warm-in
yes.
video.
It's the Raphie Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And today we look at the developing situation. The Wild v. Joyce Battle of Britain in doubt as the British Boxing Board of Control cancel all boxing due to coronavirus. And that decision won't be reviewed until April. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this developing situation. Okay, so as you can see, this is minutes ago. The British boxing has been KO'd finally by the coronavirus. Without a global governing body, boxing has been able to set its own agenda and outlast most other mainstream sports. The coronavirus has kiboshed. But now it is hit. Coronavirus has hit. There was dozens of small hall and televised shows planned for the next 12 weeks. But with the British Boxing Board of Control stepping in to halt the schedule until April, after Boris Johnson's speech on Monday evening, a statement from the British Boxing Board of Control Secretary Robert Smith said, with regard to the above, and the statement made by the Prime Minister Boris Johnson, all public tournaments under the jurisdiction of the British Boxing Board of Control are unfortunately cancelled. Further consideration of the matter will take place at the beginning of April. Damn. So boxing's off in the UK until April. Matchroom boxing boss Eddie Hearn, who had an O2 show planned for March the 28th, is open to the idea of holding some of his smaller events behind closed doors to keep fighters and broadcasters happy. But he is ruled out. Heavyweight stars Dillian White, May the 2nd, Derek Chisora, May 23rd, and Anthony Joshua, June 20th, staging their fights without fans. So those fights still are unaffected. Dillian White versus Povetkin, as yet unaffected. Derek Chisora versus Alexander Usyk of Ukraine, still unaffected. Anthony Joshua versus the Bulgarian Pulev Kubrat, still as yet unaffected, but that's May. Those are May dates. The decision is being reviewed in April. Cutting it close. Cutting it real close. Okay. Frank Warren, who has a huge fight between Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce planned for April 11th, will now be hoping the pandemic is handled quickly, enough to allow his BT Sports PPV to take place. The British Boxing Board of Control have been extremely diligent with their handling of the sport in the UK, allowing last weekend's nationwide action to go ahead after extensive talks with the government. Okay, so that is the word. That's the news. That's what's going down. Let's have a look. Damn, all these damn pop-ups keep popping up. Keep popping up. What's this here? Damn. What else we got? Eddie Hearn is bracing himself to lose around £250,000. That's like about $300,000. My calculations are correct. If coronavirus KOs his boxing schedule. The globe-trotting Matchroom boss has already lost a wedge after 2 Italy shows were cancelled, And he's sweating on 5 major UK shows already planned for 2020. Dang. Josh Kelly's headline O2. Josh Kelly headlined the O2 on March 28th. Geordie Lewis Ridson tops an April 4 card in Newcastle. Dillian White visits Manchester on May the 2nd. And Derek Chisora is back in action in the O2 or at the O2 on May 23rd. Dang. Coronavirus is hitting hard, hitting very, very hard. We'll have to keep our fingers crossed. Keep your fingers crossed and keep your hands washed. Let's hope this thing does not or abates. What is that? Australian GP, Chinese GP, Formula One, Bahrain GP, Vietnam GP. Didn't even know they had a GP in Vietnam. Damn, I haven't watched F1 in a couple of years. But there you have it. That's the news about the corona, whatever they call it, virus. So what say you? It's the Raphie Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comments, it's the shares. And it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. So, I don't know if I made a mistake earlier on in the fight. I don't know if I said this fight here was cancelled. Not yet. Still on. Not cancelled yet. All the shows in April, from now till April, to the beginning of April, are now cancelled. The review will take place in April. So let's keep our fingers crossed. This thing abates ASAP. But in the meantime, it's Raphie Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. Remember, the BTWR takes place on April the 11th. So let's hope the pandemic eases off, goes away before then. It's the Raphie Dawkins Combat Radio. It's the likes, the subscribe, it's the comments, it's the shares, and it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. Don't forget about the live show, Mondays and Wednesdays, 10 p.m. UK time.
Okay, so that was the warm-in video. Okay, so let's, oh damn, I'm probably way too high, way too loud up in the mic now. Way too loud up in the mic now. Let's check this out. Let's get it right, and let's stop sharing and bring back the beats. Okay, turn myself up in the cans. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, let's get back into this thing. All right, where are we? What are we looking like? Okay, so where do we begin? What's Marla say? Can't see the virus being under control in the UK by April. People need to be prepared for no boxing for the rest of the year. Damn. That's unless the promoters are prepared to fight in empty stadiums. Yikes. That's highly disturbing. Yeah, we've done the warming video now. And what are we saying now? I think the virus will get worse before it peaks and levels out. Hopefully gets under control. Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be... Am I ready for FaceTime? Yes. I'm ready for FaceTime. It's a good angle. Very flattering. Thank you, Apple computers. Much appreciated. 1 2 1 2. What's going on? All right, what's going on here? Let's straighten this out. What is this? Okay, so where do we begin? We got the coronavirus thing going on there. There's some cards getting struck off, getting pushed back. Yeah. There's some cards getting pushed back. It seems like that's the option the people are going to be taking, the promoters are going to be taking. They're going to be pushing stuff back. But as has been said, I think what's likely to happen is that it's going to get worse before it gets better. Once it's peaked, once it starts to drop, then, we're going to be in a better place. But it doesn't appear to have peaked yet. doesn't appear to have peaked yet. We'll only know it's peaked once it starts dropping off. Before it drops off, as long as it's climbing, as long as the rates of contraction are increasing, then, you know, we got a ways to go. We got a ways to go and a ways to wait. We can only be optimistic. Okay, that's the only thing we can be. Optimistic and realistic. Okay. Boom. Let's move that over there. What's going on over there? Yeah. Okay, that looks good. We're in shape. Okay, so where do we begin? Where do we begin? Let's get into, shizzle my nizzle. Where am I? How rude of me. Let's boom. Let's get the link in the chat as I go straight in with the first topic. And yeah, it's unfortunate news. Should I save this for the last, or do I like to do it up front? Well, I think I like to do these things up front. I don't want to save no bad news for the last. I think you already know where I'm going. I think you already know where I'm going. Okay, so let me share this with you. Let me share this. Is this the right one? Is this the right one? Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, okay. Let me just scroll along to make sure I've got the right version of what I'm about to present with you, for you. Oh, no, it was the wrong one. Ha-ha. It's a good thing I paused. It's a damn good thing I paused. Damn good thing I paused. Okay, so let's save this image, and we're going to use this as the background. Roger. Boom. Brand. No. Overlay. Oh, okay. Background. Yeah, this is work better. That'll work better. Boom. Yeah, I think this is the one. Is that the one? Or is that the one? Yeah. I'm not sure. For this one. Okay, let's go with that one. Okay. Why am I not seeing that? Show, hide. Okay. So. Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, let's take two. Let's do this again. Okay, boom. And boom. Okay, so why does it work that way but not this way? Why does that not work? So what if I have that on and I stop the camera? What happens then? Still don't work. Okay, that's interesting. I have to investigate that another time, but I can see how it can work right here. Okay, coming to you in a second, Marla. Okay, so, boom. Okay, Marla, how you doing, my friend?
Good, mate.
Okay, sweet as a nut. Nice of you to join us. So we're going to go straight on into the first thing. I think I best, do I share this? Do I share this or do I not? I think, let me share this. You know, I'm always experimenting with different ways and means of doing things. But I'm going to share this. Don't even matter because I'm sharing that on top, so that won't show around. Okay, either way, let's get into it. So, Floyd Mayweather Floyd Mayweather spoke of. Well, first and foremost, let me just introduce this properly. Okay, so I'm jumping all around this place, presentation styles, looking at different forms, different styles of presentation. You know what I mean? It's got to be done. It's got to be done. You got to experiment to find out what works, what styles you like best. So that's what I do. Okay, so the unfortunate news. I think most people have heard by now the unfortunate news that Roger Mayweather has passed away at the age of 58. Highly unfortunate. I mean, we all have to die sometimes, but 58, damn. I mean, 58. It ain't old. It ain't old at all. I mean, you really want to get a good, healthy 70 plus years. I mean, maybe make it to 80, then people start to dwindle, but you want to get a good 75. You want to hit 75. I mean, yeah, easily. You easily want to go 75 minimum in good health. Easily, but that doesn't always work out at all. So, Roger Mayweather, who was a 2-weight world champion and later trained his nephew to superstardom, has passed away. Mayweather, a brother of Floyd Mayweather Sr. Obviously, Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s father was 58. It was reported news of Mayweather's death. TMZ reported news of Mayweather's death, the cause of which has not yet been disclosed. Roger Mayweather wasn't able to train Floyd Mayweather Jr. towards the end of his Hall of Fame career due to various health issues. He was considered one of boxing's best elite trainers when he was healthy, following a lengthy career in which he won world titles in the 130-pound and 180-pound division. He helped his nephew to become, his nephew, of course, being Floyd Mayweather Jr., to become a 5-division weight champion and top the boxing pound-for-pound ratings in the sport. Floyd Mayweather Jr. had been vocal about the damage boxing did to his uncle because he took too much punishment in the ring, especially late in his career. So that was Floyd Mayweather Jr. talking about the tribulations that can come about as a result of a boxing career. But let's go over now also and look at what Floyd Mayweather himself had to say. Okay, let's look at that. Okay, so we're sharing. Okay, so Floyd Mayweather speaks. Floyd Mayweather, along with the boxing world, mourns the death today of his uncle and former world champion and legendary trainer, Roger Mayweather, after a long battle with diabetes. Born in Grand Rapids, Michigan, Floyd Mayweather was a 2-weight division world champion. Roger is also survived by his brother Jeff and former boxer and trainer in his own right. Of course, he's also survived by Floyd Mayweather Sr., who is his brother. So it's 2 brothers, Floyd Sr. and Jeff, who appears in a lot of the Mayweather gym videos. I think he's the one who's pretty much seems to be there every day. Jeff, also a boxer in his own right. Words of Floyd Mayweather: "My uncle was one of the most important people in my life, inside and outside of the ring, who is still grieving." And says Mayweather, who is still grieving from the loss of the mother of his children, Josie Harris. So Floyd Mayweather's had 2 hits within 2 weeks? Has it been 2 hits in 2 weeks? 2 deaths in the family within 2 weeks? So that's kind of, not desirable at all. Highly unfortunate. Roger was a great champion and one of the best trainers in boxing. Unfortunately, His health was had been failing him for several years now, and he can finally rest in peace. Those are the words of Floyd. Roger meant the world to me. My father, Floyd Sr., my uncle Jeff, our whole family, everyone in and around the Mayweather boxing gym and the entire boxing world. It's a terrible loss for us all. This is a sad day for Mayweather Promotions family, because that is truly what Roger was to us, said Leonard Ellerby, CEO of Mayweather Promotions, who worked side by side with Roger for some of Floyd's biggest fight. On top of being a phenomenal fighter in his own right, Roger was one of the most essential parts of guiding Floyd to his incredible career. We hope you keep Floyd and the entire Mayweather family in your thoughts and prayers during this time. The Mayweather family, who will forever be part of the sweet science of boxing history. He's asking for your respect. He's asking you to respect their privacy at this time until more information becomes available. We are thankful for all of the love and well wishes we have already received as word travels around the world about Roger's passing, said Mayweather. It helps me to see that he was able to touch so many people through his life in boxing, because he gave so much to the sport, which was his first love. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. Let's come out to that. Yes, so Yamala, it's just morning over where you are now, isn't it? It's just morning over there in New Zealand.
It's 11:46 a.m.
11:46 a.m. So you woke up to this news?
I've known about it for a few hours. I don't know. I might even heard about it yesterday.
Oh, last night before you. Yeah. Mayweather. He's had 2 hits now. 2 hits. His baby's mother's, his baby, the mother of his children, and his uncle. All within 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's rough, man. Really rough.
Yeah, it's one of those rough things that happen sometimes. You know, they say don't rain but pours. It's unfortunate, but there it is. That's how it goes. Never rains but pours. So Floyd, he was instrumental in Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s. He was instrumental in his upbringing, really, because Floyd Mayweather Sr., can't remember why, but he went to jail. And even though he started Floyd off, it was Roger who pushed Floyd forward in his early career while his dad was in jail. Was it?
Oh, yep.
Yeah, that was the situation over there. Roger was his second trainer. His first trainer was his father, Floyd Sr. And Roger took the helm when his father went to jail, and they kind of guided him throughout a good portion of his early career until Roger came back on the scene.
Yeah, they've been very successful family.
Yes, they came from because obviously they're both, the father and the uncle were both boxers before Floyd, and Roger being a two-time world champion, you have to call that success.
Oh, definitely. Being able to pass it along, right through the family.
Yeah.
Because if your dad's good at something, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to be good at it. They were able to carry that on. Yeah,
it doesn't guarantee it at all. Oftentimes the son comes and he doesn't replicate the success of the father. In the case of many cases of ex-champions, look at Chavez Jr.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, that Chavez Jr., I get the impression with him, he's one of those guys. He may actually have got into boxing because he felt it was expected of him.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like a guy who really loves what he's doing.
No, he looks like a guy who, he's got the name. He's got his father's name. And I don't know, maybe, with the machismo, maybe there's something about the machismo that pushed him in a direction that otherwise he probably wouldn't have opted to go down. He probably
Yeah, well,
wouldn't have opted to go down that road.
Yeah, sometimes, you get that situation where they almost feel obligated to do it. They want to please their dad, and
Yeah.
but you see it a lot with kids. They'll play a sport they don't necessarily like to, keep the parents happy and things. And he may be in that situation. It's almost, he just feels like it's an obligation. But
yeah, see a lot with cops as well. See a lot with cops.
oh yeah, they following the footsteps of the for sure.
Cop dad. My dad was a sergeant. My granddaddy was a sergeant. My dad was a corporal, and now I'm going into the family business too with cops. With cops.
Yeah.
Lorry drivers. Yeah, get the son in. Yeah, you'll be safe and secure, son. Safe and secure. This is a long-term job. You don't want anything else. You just drive this truck until you're about 65. You'll be sorted, mate. Look at me. I did okay. Did okay for me, lad. You can do it too. You can
Same
do
with
it.
Same with fishing.
Is it fishers?
A lot of fishermen, man. Yeah, that sons follow dad into the fishing, and yeah.
Keep it all in the family. That's how they do it. Floyd, he proved to be he was one of the exceptions. He's one of the few exceptions. Look at Marvis Frazier, son of Joe Frazier.
Did nothing, eh?
No, did nothing. I think. Hold on, he fought Tyson, didn't he? And got blasted out in a round or something, less than a round.
Yeah, and he fought Larry Holmes and got blasted in a round too.
Damn. Well, he fought the greats. He fought some of the greats. I mean, at least he's got that on his resume. He says, this is the time I got beat by Tyson. And over here, this is the time I got beat by Larry Holmes. And all those people. So it rarely works out. But for Floyd Mayweather, it just seemed like it was a perfect storm. He had the mentality for it. He was built for it. Probably built for it more than his dad or his uncle. So he was the rarity. He was more built for the game than the generation above him were.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So Floyd, one of the exceptions, one of the rarities. I'm sure at some point in boxing history there have been others like him who came and did better than their championship generation above them, but got to be few and far between, and none so decorated, none so more accomplished than Floyd Mayweather Jr. himself. Okay, so what can we say other than, where are we? Took the time to bring up this thing. We're moving, we're developing, took the time to bring up this thing. At least I could do is show Roger Mayweather working with his young charge, Floyd Mayweather. And it's cemented his legacy. A lot of people come and go, but just a few people knew him, and that's it. That's normal. That's how it works. But I think Roger Mayweather, he cemented his legacy in the annals of in the boxing annals of the history of boxing. Marla.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. He's got his place. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's secure. Okay, so R.I.P. Roger Mayweather. What can you say other than R.I.P. and send our best wishes and blessings out to the family. That's two losses in the Mayweather family, particularly Floyd's family, Floyd's life over the last 2 weeks. So, it's going to be, I guess, a time for reflection. Floyd Mayweather right about now. So R.I.P. is the message from Raphie Dawkins Combat Radio to Floyd Mayweather. Okay, so let us move on. Let's move on with the show. Okay, so where are we at now? Let me take a look. Where are we going next? Let's move that to the side, like so. Let's get that window closed, and let's progress along to the next story. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Yes. I know exactly where we're going. Here it is. Let me share the picture at least. Actually, I think I got this. I think I got some pictures of this lady. I think I got some pictures of this lady already stored. Let me scroll back. Hope I didn't delete them. Better start to keep a library of this shizzle. Did I or did I not delete? Yeah, I deleted it, but that's easily rectified. Easily rectified like so. Open image, save image. Alexandra, save that. And let's go ahead and get this open over here as we move and progress onto the next story, which is concerns Alexandra Jimenez. Let's load that in and finish that. Pull this up. Okay, so as you will recall, we've covered this saga from its genesis to this stage, which seems like the end of the saga. Alexandra Jimenez has been stripped by what? What's the date on this? Okay, this is today or yesterday. Okay, stripped by the WBO. Okay, so like every other boxer in the world today, Franchon Cruz Dezern isn't quite sure when she'll be able to return the ring. When she does, there will be at least one major title back around her waist. The World Boxing Organization, WBO, has formally stripped Alexandra Jimenez of her super middleweight title after failing to comply with a show cause order after testing positive for a banned substance. The ruling, which was handed down on Tuesday, results in the belt making its way back to Cruz Dezern, and their January 10th bout officially treated as a no decision. Okay, so Miss Jimenez failed to comply with the committee's order as per the show clause. Okay, so what she should have done was show a reason, show how it could be that she would have tested positive for banned substances, and she was unable to do so. Mexico's Jimenez claimed a 10-round split decision over Cruz Dezern in their fight this January, which aired live on the Zone. I actually watched that fight. It was quite interesting. It's quite a good scrap, but the glory was short-lived as a test sample taken and collected by officials contracted by the voluntary anti-doping agency known as VADA on the eve of the fight came back positive for the banned steroid stanozolol. You remember stanozolol was something they said that was in Ben Johnson's system. Ben Johnson, the Olympic 100-meter sprinter, stanozolol. That's why I remember that name. The news made the rounds. Okay, so long story short, let's get to the pertinent points here. All right, so Cruz Dezern, the longtime advocate for stringent drug testing, produced clean samples for every test she was required to take. Having exhausted all options, the WBO decided the time had come for an official ruling, which in the end defaulted matters back to the way they were prior to the fight. So the long shot is that, hold on, what does it say here? Jimenez is afforded one last-ditch effort as she will have 14 days from this Tuesday, Tuesday's ruling, to file an appeal in writing. As far as the other side is concerned, the rendered decision is the right call and the final call. Justice has been served, said Oscar De La Hoya, chairman and CEO of Golden Boys. That's what he told Raphie Dawkins Combat Radio early this morning. This is the correct decision to make on behalf of the WBO to reinstate Franchon Cruz Dezern as its super middleweight champion. It's great to see justice in action in this sport. yeah, so the WBO, in short, have reinstated Franchon. Should have a picture of her up really as well. Franchon Cruz Dezern as its super middleweight champion. Yeah, where are we? Okay, let's get the comments back. Okay. So Franchon Cruz Dezern, Marla, Franchon Cruz Dezern has been reinstated as the WBO. David Douglas making me laugh here. As the WBO super middleweight champion.
Yeah, I got no sympathy for these drug cheats, man. I'm good on them, you know.
Yeah.
Good on them for stripping her of the belt and putting things right. I just can't stand them. They just need to bring in even stronger bans for these people, man.
100%. Too much messing around. Especially, I think it's hideous anyway, but I think it's even more hideous in contact sports. You know, if you're doing some non-contact sport, it still gives you an edge over your opponent. But when you're dealing with contact sports, you're actually trying to, well, combat sports. You're actually trying to concuss your opponent, and so that makes it even more egregious when you're trying to concuss somebody and you've got the physical edge because you're doping and they are not. I think that makes it more egregious, Marla.
Oh, it does. It does. You're putting someone's life on the line, man. It's an incredibly selfish act. I despise them. I despise the drug cheats in boxing. It really frustrates me how they just don't have some just. You see a lot of other sports, you know, you see swimmers get caught cheating. They're just given a 4-year ban straight away. There's none of this. Oh, it was in the meat. Oh, how did that get in there? I'm shocked. You know, it's in you. You tested positive for it. Yeah. It's on you. 4-year ban.
Yes.
And yes. You know, they just got to stop pussyfooting around with because I've said this before. The cheaters at the moment in boxing, they're weighing up risk reward, and they just say, well, look, if I cheat and win, I win a title and I get potentially millions of dollars.
Yeah.
If they catch me, I'm going to get banned for 6 months and get fined a few $100,000. It's a joke. They're weighing up the risk reward, and it's worth cheating.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Jarrell Miller. Yeah. How is that guy still in the sport? It was just the most blatant cheating you've ever seen. Blatant. Not just one drug, 3 drugs, and he's still in the sport. And it just makes a mockery of the anti-drug stance that boxing claims to take.
What was it? GW15 was one. Growth hormone was the other, and EPO. That guy had a killer cocktail in the system.
Oh, he did, man.
That guy had a kind of cocktail. When Dillian White comes out with some good lines, he said, when I saw the list, he said, well, it looks like he was trying to kill him. That list is like some universal soldier shizzle.
And it was incredible.
Soldier, when they used to have them rest up in the truck and they have the needle in the neck when they were sleeping to help them recuperate. That was like a universal soldier cocktail.
I mean, how did he ever think he was going to get away with it?
Because he'd probably been getting away with it for how long?
But I mean, was he not getting tested or what?
That's what I'm saying. I think he'd been getting away with it for how long? And clearly, well, his actions indicate that he wasn't being tested, or if he was being tested, then the level of the test. Oops, I hit the mic. That's not good. The level of the test was not in any way effective. The tests were minimal and non-stringent. I don't know what the word for non-stringent is, but let's just say non-stringent. Yep. Because for him to have the confidence, for Gerald Big Belly Miller to have the confidence to go into a world championship fight when he knows Joshua, or maybe he didn't believe that Joshua was being tested. Maybe he didn't believe the stories. We all know the stories when Joshua was being tested. He gets the whole battalion of tests going on. He gets a whole bunch of people. He's being tested by multiple different agencies. And maybe Jarrell Miller looked at him and said, well, he looks kind of, anybody looking like that must be on drugs. So if he's going to get away with it, I'm going to get away with it too.
Yeah, I mean, he had been getting away with it because for a long time, Jarrell, because everyone used to look at him and say, how the hell are you 300 pounds and throwing more punches per round than a guy who's 50, 60 pounds lighter than you?
Yeah.
It was so bizarre.
He was a marvel. He was a marvel.
Yeah, mate. And we know why. We know how.
Why now. We know why now. But at the time, it was like, what the hell is going on? This guy's a marvel. Absolute marvel. But he wasn't a marvel. He was just juiced to the absolute gills.
Yep.
Absolutely juiced to the gills. That was Big Belly Miller. Well, let's talk about this subject while we're on it for a second. Somebody's a little bit ripped. Somebody's a little bit ripped. So it's really strange why I don't understand this particular thing where I'm pressing a certain button, something should happen, but it's not happening. It's not a deal breaker. It's not major. It's not super major. I'm just really curious. Oh, okay. It's cool. I'll have to work on that. I'll solve that riddle off air. Why that button isn't working. I'm sure it is working. It's just I'm using it wrong. No doubt. But let's just stay on this topic for a second. We've done the Franchon. Oh, sorry. How rude of me. Let me interact with the chat just a little bit more before we move on to a little aside, which I want to talk about PEDs. BH, boxing in the blood of the Mayweather family. Any other boxing families come to mind? UK Smiths, none to really match the way Mayweathers. Any boxing family to match the Mayweathers, where you've had two generations of champions? Damn. Yeah, I'm sure there are, but not to the level of Mayweather. I can't think of any two generational champions in this era in the last 30 years. No, none come to mind, although I'm sure there are, but none to the level of Mayweather. None to the level of Mayweather. Okay, so looks like a slow evening today. Out in the interwebs, it's a Wednesday. I don't know what. Everybody's with coronavirus. Everybody's indoors with coronavirus, so there should be more people around. I don't know what's going on. But it don't matter. The beat don't stop. The Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio don't stop. We provide. I'm here on schedule every Monday and Wednesday, rain or shine. Don't matter how many people are in the chat. We provide the service that we say we're going to do. Monday, Wednesday, mandatory. Don't matter what numbers there are involved or not involved. Still doing it. We're right here right now doing it. I think that there is this thing about if somebody is muscular. If somebody is muscular, they're automatically doing something untoward. Marla.
Yeah, I've never brought into it because I had friends when I was growing up. I had a couple of guys I knew who went to the gym.
Yeah,
and they were training partners, and they used to go to the same gym, do the same workout, pretty much ate the same food.
Yep.
One of them would get really ripped. He was really cut guy. The other one, he still looked fit. He looked toned. You could see he went to the gym, but he didn't cut up like the other guy did. And it was genetics. And he used to get really frustrated about it because he used to go to the gym and work just as hard as my other mate.
Yeah,
but he just didn't get cut.
Yeah,
and it was just the way that they were both working just as hard as each other.
Yes,
but and the diet was pretty much the same. It was just genetics, and that's you get athletes that are they're blessed with being toned. They just look great.
Yeah, absolutely. There's one guy that I train, and he's just not recently, he's turned vegetarian probably about 2 years ago, and he's just as cut He looks just the same as he was when he was a meat eater, just as cut and ripped as when he was a meat eater. He has a genetic. People have a genetic predisposition to look in this way. Anthony Joshua, if he wasn't a champion boxer and he's just doing his workouts, a bit of jogging, playing football, I don't think he'd look too far off how he looks now.
Oh, it's so true. When you go to any gym, you see men and women, and some of them, some women get cut and look like aerobics instructors, mate. Some of them don't. You see some guys get in there, they look incredible, and other guys they're fit, they got good heart, good lungs, but they don't get ripped. Yeah, and it's just how people are built, man.
It's true. It's a genetic predisposition. I've got one of my dad's brothers. He's short. He's short. I mean, my dad's tall. There's like the tall guys and the short guys in the family. He's short, and he's passed away now. The uncle's passed away now. Uncle Buddy, R.I.P. Much love and respect still. I think he was 84, so he had a decent innings. That was a decent innings. But he was all his sons, apart from one. He had about what? How many kids did he have? He had about 11 with his missus, Aunt Beryl. They had about 11, 12 children, and all of the boys minus one or two, were built like sprinters. And that was genetic.
Oh, totally. It's like you see some people can sprint really fast, but they haven't got great stamina. Then you'll see other people, they haven't got that much sprint speed, but they can run all day.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's genetics as well.
That's genetics as well. That is genetics as well. All of them guys, I'd say sub 5'10". I don't know if that's probably not short. Some people are short to me. Sub 5'10", and all built like sprinters to this day. That's genetic, mate. That's genetic. And that's what some people don't understand. They have a genetic predisposition in the first place, and then if you eat reasonably clean, and you have an active lifestyle, throw some gym in there, and you're gonna look like a sprinter. Some people just look that way with a reasonably clean diet and an activity-based lifestyle. That's just the way it is, folks. That's just the way it is. Okay, and so we've chopped that one up. Let's take that banner down and move over on to the next. Okay, so boom, where are we going now? We've done that one. Let's move that one to the side and move on. Okay, so where are we? Which one are we going with? Okay, this seems a good one. Let's go with multi-topic tonight. Many topics, and we're flying through them. Okay, so let me share my screen. Different style again. Multiple different styles for you today, folks. Doing it different style. Okay, so Charles Martin is interested in White versus Povetkin. Charles Martin was last in action in February when he stopped Gerald Washington in the chief supporting bout underneath Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury pay-per-view. Of course, that fight has overshadowed everything that came before it, and come to think of it, that card wasn't even that good in my opinion. I think I only covered these two fights. Those were the only two fights I covered. The co-main, the chief supporting act and the main act. Okay, and for those who don't know, BT Sports have uploaded the Deontay Wilder versus the Wilder Fury fight, Wilder Fury 2. They've uploaded it now, so if you haven't seen the fight or you didn't see it in the best quality, then you can type that in YouTube. Not now, of course, and you can get that up. Matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat, I'll go one better than that. What is that? Have I got it up still? No, I haven't got it up. Have I? Yes, I do. So I'll post the link. Let me post the link to that. Boom. Let's go over here. Actually, let's go over to the YouTube window. Damn, I'm still sharing. It's all over the place. Let's stop sharing that. I'm gonna stop sharing that. Let me post that in the permanent section of YouTube. That's all. I've just posted the link to Wilder Fury 2 in the permanent section, so that'll be there for you. Wilder v Fury 2. Okay, boom. That's there for prosperity in the permanent section. Okay, so let's get back to what we were doing. Let me just do that. Press the share. And boom. Okay, so a couple of weeks after the fight, the former IBF heavyweight champion said that he is looking to fight in an IBF eliminator in July. With the target that was the target month. That's probably almost certainly going to be pushed back now with what's happening with the coronavirus. Okay, so the current IBF champion, Anthony Joshua, who also holds the WBO, WBA, IBO titles, will face his IBF mandatory challenger, Kubrat Pulev, says here on June the 20th. Wouldn't be surprised if that gets pushed back, but that's another story. But that's likely to be pushed back now from June the 20th, probably to July the 20th. It would not surprise me. Okay. So Martin is also open to exploring other options. He recently said that he's interested in fighting any of the high-profile contenders in the division. One of them is Dillian Whyte, who holds the WBC interim title and is slated to face top contender Alexander Povetkin on May the 2nd at the Manchester Arena. What's that, May the 2nd? Well, as you all know from our videos, the British Boxing Board of Control have cancelled all the fights in Britain. And they will review that decision at the beginning of April. This says May, so that's in danger. Hold on. I think if that hasn't been pushed back already, I'm pretty sure it will be pushed back from May the 2nd to June the 2nd. I can't remember if Eddie Hearn has made a statement. Eddie Hearn made a statement. I think he's pushing everything back a month. That's probably pushed back a month already. Don't quote me on that. Do your research and let me know in the chat. I've forgotten. I knew it, but I forgot it. Martin believes he will be very competitive, a very competitive fight, fighting whoever emerges victorious. That is good. That's a good fight. Whyte and Povetkin. Yeah, I would take the winner. I want any of these guys, man. They all got flaws, and we will be able to capitalize on them. Ain't none of us perfect. We just be in the gym working on capitalizing on flaws. Yeah, hopefully shoring up your own flaws. Yeah, so I don't even know where he's ranked right now. I'm not even sure where he's ranked right now. Charles Martin. Let me pull that up. Let me pull this up. What the hell? What the hell? Where are we? Damn. Let's go back. Where is Charles Martin? Looking for Charles Martin. Charles Martin is ranked number 13. Alexander Povetkin ranked number 7. And where is he? Dillian Whyte ranked number 6 and 7. Martin 13. I think Martin probably be more likely to fight the loser rather than the winner, Marla. I don't know. Is that a good enough scalp for Whyte?
Charles Martin. I would like to see a rematch with Joseph Parker rather than a fight with Charles Martin.
A rematch with Joseph Parker for Whyte, Dillian Whyte.
Yeah, man.
Where is Parker ranked these days? Let's have a look. Joseph Parker's ranked number 12. Charles Martin ranked number 13. 12 and 13. That's very interesting. That is very interesting. Does Dillian Whyte go back over old waters and fight Joseph Parker or does he go for Charles Martin? I think if you're Dillian White's manager, who do you go for? They're one place apart. Who do you go for if you're Dillian White's manager? Charles Martin or Joseph Parker?
Charles Martin, because he's close. Dillian's close to a title shot against somebody.
Yeah,
and I think a fight with Parker would be very high risk for Dillian. I think they'll take the Charles Martin one.
Yeah, that's the sensible thing to do. That would be the sensible thing to do.
Yeah,
because they're so close together.
Yeah,
they're so close together, and I think Charles Martin is. I've got Charles Martin as the better boxer, the better fighter. So I think the risk, when you look at the risk reward ratio, you're better off going with Martin because that's an ex champ on your record. You've already got Parker, an ex champ on your record. Why not go and get another ex champion on your record?
Yeah, I just think I think Parker would beat Charles Martin.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and I just think Parker, the risk against Parker when they're so close to a title shot, it doesn't make sense. Even though I would like to see it, it doesn't make sense. As a manager, you definitely go for Charles Martin. Try and get a good win. Yeah. He's the guy who he had the title taken off him by AJ, so you can knock him off and then just get closer to your title shot and get your big payout.
100%. You got to go for Charles Martin in this situation. It just makes more sense. He's another champion, so you got another champion on your resume. It's a smart thing to do, Marla.
Yep. Oh, definitely. It was like Joseph Parker when people were saying, I heard people say to me, but Parker, he run from Deontay Wilder. And it's like, well, he could have fought Deontay Wilder, an undefeated heavyweight at that time, got $4 million and fought for Wilder's one title, or he could go and fight AJ for AJ's 2 titles and get 4 times as much money. Why wouldn't you fight AJ?
Yeah. Plus you got more belts. I don't know if you said that. More
belts and more. Yeah, he had 2 belts, and Parker was going to get paid about probably 4 times the money.
Yeah. It's common sense.
Yeah.
It's common sense. It's logical. Why fight for less money and less belts when you could fight for 4 times the money and twice the amount of belts?
Yeah, totally, man. And it's not like AJ was an easier option.
Absolutely not. AJ certainly was not an easier option. And Phil Walker's got his whip in the. Is that your whip, Phil Walker?
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn. Yeah. Them long cars you have in America. Them long cars you have. Why are the cars so big in America, Phil?
Man, I don't know, man. You know, us Americans, man. You know, that's just kind of our style, man. Our swag. You know, that right there. That's a Cadillac 1970 DeVille convertible.
DeVille. I was gonna say Coupe DeVille. I was randomly just gonna say Coupe DeVille.
Yeah, man. That's 225 inches of all American muscle right there, brother.
Damn. Those 2 American cars. I remember back in the day, I used to watch the streets of San Francisco, seeing them cars jump up and down over those hilly San Francisco streets. I'm hearing some reverb from your end. I think it is Phil Walker. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, I get you. Yeah, that's smart. Just closed off the thing. Okay, so Phil, Charles Martin's in some IBF rankings now. IBF, and he says he wants a top fight. He's looking for Dillian, the winner of Dillian White versus Povetkin, and that's and then AJ, hopefully.
Well, I can tell you this right here. Can you hear me pretty good?
I can hear you pretty good, yeah. Plus the reverb's gone. That's excellent.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I had to switch up my equipment. So, the Charles Martin.
Yeah.
I can tell you this right here. He may want a big fight, but I'm gonna be honest with you, man. He's to me, I don't rate him as a real quality heavyweight. I mean, he's a good heavyweight. I believe he's just above a journeyman. I don't think he beats any of the top 5 guys, top 6 guys. I don't think he beats. He's already lost to AJ, of course. I don't think he beats Wilder. I don't think he beats Fury. I don't think he beats the Body Snatcher. I don't think he beats Ortiz. Honestly, I don't think he beats.
Does he beat Povetkin?
I don't think so. I don't think he beats Joe Joyce either.
Damn.
So
I think you're right.
But I mean, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
You know, I did enjoy watching him put on the performance that he did against Washington. But at the end of the day, Washington's not a great heavyweight as either. You understand what I'm saying?
He ain't high level.
No, he's not high level either. So, I mean, at the end of the day, he might just be looking to cash out because he's not gonna unless somebody belt magically becomes vacant. I don't see him beating anybody in the top 5, top 6, even top 7. That's my opinion. I jumped on because I heard my man Marla say my name, so I had to jump in. And
did he? Did he?
Yeah, I think he said something about Phil said Parker ran from Wilder or something like that.
No, I wasn't saying that you said that. No, I wasn't saying that you said that. But now some people were saying that Parker run from Wilder, and it just made no sense. The money he could get for AJ was so much bigger.
Yeah, I mean, look.
He didn't mention your name, Phil. How did you get your name?
Hey, I agree with you.
Have you said it in private, Phil, and you thought it was over here? What's
hey,
going
look,
on?
I was listening in, and I said, "What did he say, Phil? Let me hit the link right quick. You know, let me jump in and join in on this luxurious conversation.
Now we know how to get Phil Walker in the house. Now we know how to get Phil Walker in the house. Just make an accusation. I'm sure. Yeah, Phil said that Wilder would beat AJ and Wilder on the same night, and that will get Phil Walker up in the building.
Nah, look, man, it made more sense. Just like Marla just expressed, man, it made more sense to go and get a chance at multiple belts in a bigger payday, and build a rapport with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom versus PBC and Deontay Wilder's team. So it made sense all around. So you can't blame him for taking that route. And you know, at the end of the day, the guy had options, and he felt he went with the one that was best for his career.
Yeah. Yes. And what else was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else on top of that. Oh, I was just thinking to myself, I need to get a gif of Fury taking care of Wilder. I need to get on that. I got a knockout. I got Joshua knocking out people. I got Wilder knocking out one man. I need to give Fury his props. Got to give him his props. Got to get a gif up. Okay, that's on my long list of things to do. Let's come out of that and go into the next thing. I think we're going to the next thing. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Yeah. Money was ish, no matter how you look at it. Wilder just started making decent money. Before that, he was making garbage money. Yes, indeed. He couldn't offer Parker sensible money. It was local money. Parker said it was money he could make back in New Zealand, and New Zealand is a very, very small island with the population. How many people in New Zealand, Marla?
About 5 million now.
About 5 million people, and it's a sad indictment, Phil Walker. It's a sad indictment about Wilder's previous earning power, that he could only offer Parker local money.
Well, you know, just to add to that, I'll be honest with you. And, you know, a lot of my American friends probably going to get upset with me when I say this, but I think Anthony Joshua is why the market is the way that it is now. Because he was getting paid so much for his fights that they had to increase the market for the heavyweight division. This way it can eliminate a lot of these shenanigans when it comes to negotiations. Because when you got a guy that's getting 20 million pounds, or however you guys do your money out that way, every time he steps into the ring, and you got a guy like Deontay Wilder for his first fight. Well, I think when he made a million was against
Luis Ortiz.
No, I think it was before Ortiz.
Bermain Stavern.
Might have been Stavern. Yeah, might have been Stavern. Is when he started really, getting into the $1 million range for his fights. Yeah. So with that being said, Anthony Joshua end up getting that, end up with those massive paydays, and it followed with Tyson Fury end up getting his massive paydays, and then Deontay Wilder, of course, started getting his.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you have the zone coming to you trying to offer you $100+ million, you gotta give props to Anthony Joshua and Matchroom for kind of demanding the market, fluctuation like that. Because let's be honest, the heavyweights wasn't really, Klitschko wasn't even making that kind of money up until he fought against AJ. I don't remember the last time Klitschko had a multi-million-dollar fight. Let's be real.
Yeah, AJ's definitely lifted boxing.
Yeah,
I don't know how I don't know how anyone can deny it. He's definitely lifted it up.
Yeah. Absolutely, I agree.
Excuse me. Yes, AJ drove the market higher. Made heavyweight boxing a lucrative place to be again. Definitely drove up the market and drove up the purses, and I think that all the guys at heavyweight probably are thankful for that. Never really heard any compliments of that nature from the likes of Deontay Wilder. I might as well talk about it while I'm here because it's on my mind. Can't censor yourself. Might as well talk about it. I'm gonna do a show about it, a singular show. Maybe bang that one out tomorrow. And you know what? Since I'm thinking about it now, you have jackals out there in the wilderness. You have jackals, and all other form of, what do you call them? Scavengers. And if I say what I'm thinking now, the show's going to be tomorrow, what are the chances that somebody else is going to do that show before I get to do the show? The chances are too high, my friends. And so I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to keep that one until I release it tomorrow around lunchtime-ish. Around lunchtime-ish, but it pertains to, I'm not going to tell you what it pertains to, but it pertains to the heavyweight scene and someone who's very respected, offering a USA perspective, a USA guy offering his perspective on the Wilder versus Fury 2. And it's a very interesting perspective, very insightful. He himself said enough. I've said enough. I have to tune in tomorrow right here on Raphie Dawkins Combat Radio to hear that one. But it's a good one. It's a big one. Don't miss it. Catch it live or on replay. But in the meantime, let me come out of this. Let me go over. Okay. Yeah. So Marcus Lauer, as Ortiz is old as AF and went 12 rounds. Says 13. He means 12 rounds with Christian Hammer. Tell me. Oh, Phil Walker, you're the Ortiz guy. Talk to me about Ortiz and Christian Hammer going 12 rounds.
Well, I mean, Christian Hammer is a tough opponent for anybody. It's not that he's very skillful. It's just that he's a hard-nosed kind of guy, man, that can really take a punch. Yeah. And I think, the Christian Hammer was, of course, a stay busy fight. I don't think anybody thought that Christian Hammer was actually going to beat Ortiz. But, I mean, at the end of the day, when you go look at Christian Hammer's record, I think he's only – how many times has he been stopped? Maybe once or twice?
Yeah, he's durable. So
he's a pretty durable guy. and he's a really, really big guy as well. But I mean, at the end of the day, Luis Ortiz, when he went in for that fight, I was just more so concerned, and not concerned, but my concern was how he would look going 12 rounds. Because we all know stamina has been his biggest downfall up until this point in his career, and considering his age, I don't think it's going to get any better. So with that being said, I was excited to see him go 12 rounds. Of course, I would have liked him to stop the guy, but you can always find some positive in that kind of situation when it comes to a fighter that has question marks, such as going 12 rounds.
Okay, and with that, let's go straight over to some more heavyweight action. Alexander Usyk, I haven't yet realized being a heavyweight. What does that mean? Let's find out. Okay, so Alexander Usyk has a tattoo of London and the Olympic rings across his left forearm, and he will return to the site of his 2012 Olympic gold medal winning performance for the second time as a pro, looking to solidify his standing in the heavyweight division when he takes on Derek Chisora, May 23rd. Once again, those dates have probably been pushed back by at least a month. May, if not yet, then certainly imminently. May the 23rd, probably pushed back to May, June the 23rd. Everything probably going to get pushed back. Well, definitely, almost definitely going to get pushed back at the O2 Arena, London. The Derek Chisora fight will be a huge challenge for me, says Usyk. I will prepare and train hard as I usually do. Boxing inspires me. We will put on a great show for the fans. I love the UK fans because they are expert in boxing. It makes me want to come back. Damn. Big props to the UK supporters from Alexander Usyk. Okay, so the Southpaw Slugger fought as a cruiserweight. Slugger? I call him a slugger? As a cruiserweight for the last time. I don't know if he's a slugger. I don't really see him as a slugger. Don't look like he's a slugger to me. He's a bit more than that. Fought a cruiserweight the last time in his pro career fight at London. In London at the Manchester Arena 2018 in London. I don't know if the Manchester Arena is in London. I mean, it's the Manchester Arena is in Manchester. Okay, in his win over Tony Bellew. Yeah, so Usyk will be fighting Chisora while he awaits for his WBO mandatory matchup against Anthony Joshua. In the meantime, we'll be moving forward. He'll be moving forward with his IBF mandatory. Who will be moving forward with his IBF mandatory against Kubrat Pulev. So that's Joshua. They're talking about Joshua. His IBF fight scheduled for June 20. Once again, all these dates, folks, remember, we got the corona moving around, working, it's doing its thing. So everything, all the dates now probably be pushed back by a month. The 33-year-old Ukrainian doesn't see it as a distraction that he has to get through Chisora first. I don't treat it like a problem, he said. I treat this like a challenge. Big things are awaiting me. And those are the words of Ukraine's Alexander Usyk. And I love it when I come to the end of a sentence and the music comes to the end of the loop at the same time. Okay. Marla, you wanna get stuck into that one? Usyk.
Yeah, it's an exciting. Yeah, definitely exciting fight. One of the ones I'm looking forward to this year, and it's just going to be interesting to see how Usyk handles heavyweight pressure. You know, constant pressure and heavyweight punching to the head, but also to the body. Yeah, but I think he's a high quality opponent, Usyk. So I'm sort of going for Usyk by 12-round unanimous decision. Not counting Chisora out, but I'm going for Usyk in that one.
Yeah, what kind of split? What percentage split have you got there?
I'm about 65-35.
65-35. Okay. Phil Walker, your thoughts? Usyk facing Chisora. and it's only his second heavyweight fight this time around. Of course, he's fought heavyweight before, but this time around, his second heavyweight fight, fought Witherspoon, Charles Witherspoon. Beforehand, someone a lot of people, including myself, have never even heard of. He got a little bit of flack for that. Got a little bit of flack for the Witherspoon fight. Phil Walker.
Yeah, so I tell you what, man, I watched the first press conference with those two guys, and Trezor, man, he had on that long trench coat, man. I thought he might have had a shotgun underneath that thing or something, man.
He might have come strapped.
Thought he had a shotgun under there. I thought he was gonna shoot one in the ceiling or something. But man, I tell you what, look, Usyk, I'll be honest with you, I'm not sold on him completely at the heavyweight division yet.
Okay.
His last fight against
Witherspoon.
Witherspoon, yeah, his last fight against Witherspoon. Witherspoon, I think, handled himself well. I think Witherspoon's biggest problem was his stamina. Usyk just outlasted him, and then he started to wear on him toward the end of the fight. But I think he pumped the jab very well. He moved as good as he could, considering his layoff that he had, massive layoff he had going in to fight Usyk. But with that being said, I don't think Usyk oohed and awed his fan base as though I felt he should have, considering that he just didn't look all that good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I will tell you is this right here. A guy like Derek Chisora, my personal favorite UK heavyweight, okay? He's going to absolutely come to fight, as he does every single time he steps into the ring. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, he's going to put pressure on Usyk, and we're going to see what he's made of. Because I will tell you this right here. Tony Bellew, I think Tony Bellew would have had a lot more success again against Usyk if he would have had his legs up underneath him. Usyk was vulnerable to the body against Bellew. And if I know one thing about Derek Chisora, he's going to go to that body. And guess what? He does not want to let it go to 12 rounds, especially with a guy that he knows boxes 10 times better than him. So it's either going to be Chisora by stoppage, or it's going to be Usyk by stoppage. So I'm predicting somebody's going to get stopped during that particular fight, because Chisora, he doesn't want to go to the scorecards.
Mm-hmm. That's very, very interesting.
I have it 50-50 is my assessment as far as the percentages. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I think Chisora has reinvented himself, and I think he is coming into fights better in shape. I think he's more in shape now that he's coming into fights, and I think his combinations are a lot more crisp, and I think he's just an overall better fighter now, honestly, that he's been with David Haye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I have to agree. I don't think I wasn't impressed with Usyk with the first fight he had at heavyweight. I'm just thinking that, that was his first fight, making that transition. And I'm sort of thinking I'm expecting he'll be better for this one.
Mm-hmm.
But as I say, it is still up in the air. But I think Chisora is in a really good patch of form at the moment. He is fighting very well. He's a very dangerous fighter. So I'm sort of going for Usyk. I'm sort of backing Usyk to lift his level of performance from that first fight he had at heavyweight and look for him to bring more and win a points decision. But I don't count Chisora out by any stretch. He's going to apply a lot of pressure to Usyk, body and head, and just be constantly on him. And it's going to be interesting to see how Usyk actually handles that.
Yes. It's interesting because, funnily enough, Phil said that he doesn't see it going 12 rounds. And, I tend to agree. I don't see it going 12 rounds. I think one man, because the way I see it is Chisora is going to be looking to take Usyk out in the first 6 rounds. That's how I see. That's what I think. That's how I see Chisora's strategy being. And I think that if Chisora doesn't take Usyk out within the first, let's say, 6 rounds, I think Usyk then will be in a position to turn up the heat, turn up on him. So I see the first half of the fight being Chisora's window of opportunity. And if he doesn't finish him in the first half of the fight, then I see Usyk coming back in the second half of the fight, where he may see more openings from Chisora. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a knockout. And I too see it as a 50-50. Talking about Chaz Witherspoon, Usyk's first fight, I was not overwhelmed by Usyk's performance. However, it was his first fight back at heavyweight, and I think he'd had a bit of a spell out. From boxing. Been out for a little while, and so yeah, I can see why Chisora, or rather Usyk, didn't look particularly sparkling in that performance back. But this performance is going to be more telling.
I just don't know if Usyk's got the power. Like Chisora has got a pretty solid chin and he's got good stamina. He doesn't have issues going round. So I don't know if Usyk could knock Chisora out.
Mm-hmm.
I could see Chisora knocking Usyk out, but I don't know if I think if Usyk beats Chisora, he'll do it on points.
I was just watching back the what was that guy's name? Bellew fight.
Yep.
And I don't know. I think that Usyk knows the landscape now. I think Usyk knows the landscape. The landscape now for heavyweights is you got to be impressive. And I think Usyk will know that there's an expectation for him to be impressive, especially after the Witherspoon encounter. So Ross Clark up in the building.
What's up, guys?
How do you do?
Oh man, I'm doing good, man. I'm really excited for this Chisora and Usyk fight. Actually, I had said sometime last year in another chat that a good test to see how Usyk will do in the heavyweight division would be against Chisora. I think Chisora is always game. He's always ready to fight. He's past his prime, but he's still a dangerous fighter. I think Chisora is a lot better than a lot of the guys that Wilder has faced.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think this fight's going to go 12 rounds, and I think it's going to be really exciting. I actually think that Chisora is going to make Usyk work because I don't see Chisora giving Usyk any respect. Usyk isn't the biggest puncher, but he's really highly skilled in terms of boxing, and I think I got Usyk winning. Possibly a split decision or a unanimous decision, but like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's even a split decision.
Mm-hmm. So, what percentage do you give Usyk of winning?
Oh, I think I give Usyk 100% winning. I think Usyk will do pretty good in heavyweight. I think these heavyweights they're big, but they're slower, they're clumsy. Usyk fought in the world boxing series, at super, I think it was a super heavyweight, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he could fight at heavyweight. I think he just got to get used to fighting these bigger, stronger guys. That's all. And I think Chisora is a good test for that.
Yes. That's pretty much encapsulated.
Just I thought a better test for Usyk would probably be somebody along the lines of Charles Martin, honestly. I mean, because Charles Martin is going to try to do a little bit of boxing. Chisora's not. He's not going to do any boxing whatsoever. So, I mean, at the end of the day, look, we don't know if Usyk can stand up to the pressure that a heavyweight is going to put on him. As far as fighting in the trenches, leaning on him, this is going to be a very, very good test for him. But I think he probably should have took a lighter touch. I disagree. I don't think Chisora's past his prime right now. I still think he's a top 10 heavyweight. and he's proven that throughout his entire career. He doesn't back down from any fight. He wants all the smoke. And when you fight war, you know this is exactly what it's going to be. 100%.
War Chisora. So Red Glove, I mean Ross Clark, if I understand you correctly, you give War Chisora 0 chance of winning. You give it 100% chance to Usyk and 0 chance to War Chisora. But no chance.
I think Usyk is just that talented. Listen, if you listen to anyone talk about the heavyweight division fighting Usyk, all we can really say is that these guys are just bigger. Not one, even Fury, not one of these guys are as skilled in terms of boxing ability as Usyk, and that includes Fury. But he's the smaller man. So again, Usyk has the chance of being like, he could be like Manny Pacquiao at the heavyweight division for all we know. We don't know. He could be like Pernell Whitaker fighting these bigger welterweights at heavyweight. We don't know. And I think for me, I think Chisora is that perfect test because, like I said, Chisora, there's no respect for him, and he's going to come out there and he's going to want to fight him. And not only that, he has to fight Chisora mentally before the fight. It's for the buildup of this fight. So he got to show us where he's at mentally too, and I think Usyk is prepared for all of that.
So, Mr. Ross Clark, let me ask you something. Did you watch the Tony Bellew and Usyk fight?
Yeah, I did. Okay.
So, did you think Bellew was having success against him? Bellew was winning that fight, by the way.
Yeah, he was winning that fight, and just like Gerald Washington, and just like Artur Szpilka, it ended badly for Bellew.
So Mala, it's interesting because Bellew was winning that fight.
Yeah, Bellew was absolutely 110% winning that fight. You know, when you talk about a guy and you tell me he's a master boxer, and he gets in there with a guy like Tony Bellew who can box, but is not known as just an awesome boxer. You know, he's mainly known for being one of those kind of guys that put in a lot of hard work and it pays off when it comes fight night. I mean, I wasn't impressed by Usyk. He has a lot of wasted movement as far as him stepping to the side, throwing his punches. I mean, all that stuff, it looks good, looks fine and dandy, but at the end of the day, when somebody putting that pressure on you and they trying to crack that skull, we're going to see. We're going to see what's going to happen to him.
Phil Walker, who you got winning the fight?
Honestly, I'm leaning toward Chisora. Because, again, I'm the kind of guy, Chisora is proven at this weight division. I do think he has become a more complete fighter here of recent. And, I'm not down with giving a guy praise until he proves to me that he deserves it. He boxed well at welterweight, but he's no Evander Holyfield. So at the end of the day, he's going to have to prove to me that he belongs in the heavyweight division.
I agree. Do you think that he fought any cruiserweights that hit harder than any of these heavyweights?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm the kind of guy
I think no, but carry on.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think it's gonna matter if he fought anybody that hits as well as these heavyweights or as hard as these heavyweights. Because again, at this division, he's gonna have to be a boxer, and I don't think Usyk has tremendous power as well. So it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Usyk's not a big puncher at all. But do you think that in terms of boxing skills, is Tony Bellew has better boxing skills, basic fundamentals than Chisora?
Basic fundamentals. I think Chisora has pretty good fundamentals. It's to me, it's stylistic. I wouldn't try to compare Tony Bellew to a Chisora because their styles are like night and day.
Different. Those way different.
Yeah, Chisora is the kind of guy that's going to fight on the front foot as much as possible. Okay. Tony Bellew is a combination. He could fight on the front foot. He could fight on the back foot as well. I don't think he does any one of them absolutely great. But, like I said, Tony Bellew is the kind of guy that I've always respected because he's not the most talented, but he does work hard and he's super duper entertaining. So, I just show him his respect in those regards. And he is a world champion as well. So
I think the key for one of the keys for Usyk is, can he avoid a war? Because if Chisora can force him back onto the ropes and turn it into a close quarters battle, just into that war of attrition, that's going to be bad for Usyk, and he could end up losing the fight. But if he can use his boxing skills and his slickness and move on Chisora, I think Usyk will be able to win if he can do that. You know what I mean? If he can bring the skill into it. But if he gets pinned on the ropes and it becomes just an attrition thing, I think that could end up very nasty for him.
Yeah.
I agree. I absolutely agree. If Usyk can move, can stay out of the way, I think he beats Chisora fairly easy. But it's easier said than done.
It's a very, very interesting. Yeah, I see the fight. I think I'm like Phil on this one. I see the fight as being closer than it is generally perceived to be. But I think for me, Usyk is just a slick mover. He's so slick a mover. I mean, I'm fascinated. I'm really looking forward to this fight. I want to see if Chisora can stick it on him. I think he will be able to stick it on him, but it's a question of degree. How much and how often can he stick it on Usyk? I want to see Usyk get one hell of a run out. I want to see War Chisora in there. And I want to see Usyk earn the accolades he's getting already at heavyweight. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. The key for Chisora, I think, is the body attack. He's a very good body puncher, and I think for him, he doesn't want to go in there and go headshot crazy because Usyk could make him miss, make him look foolish. Just try and back him into the ropes, work the body as much as you can, and then try and take him by surprise with that right hand to the head. Yes.
Usyk, I think Usyk might be underpowered at heavyweight, but I will give him credit for his intellect. I will give him credit for his boxing intellect. He's a smart cookie. I'm looking forward to this fight. I am looking forward to this Usyk versus Chisora fight. Very much so. What's the date on that? Let me have a look.
Yeah, it's one of the most exciting fights to me of 2020, honestly.
No doubt.
Because it's just that kind of fight, and I hope it gets the attention that it deserves because it's going to tell us a lot about Usyk, and it's going to tell us a lot about Chisora, where he stands at now in the heavyweight division as well. So I'm super hyped for that fight.
Yeah, like I do have doubts about Usyk's punching power at heavyweight, and I feel it is going to limit him to a degree with his success at heavyweight. Like a lot of people are saying to me that Usyk will beat AJ, and I don't think so. I just don't. No. I just don't think he's got. I think AJ's got height. He's got the reach. AJ's faster than what people think. His hand speed. He's got good punching power. He can fight you on the outside and the inside. He's got a better jab. I just think AJ would beat him.
Yeah, I think when it comes to Usyk, and I've heard that too. I've even heard people say that Usyk could beat Deontay Wilder, and as much as Wilder is super limited, I think Wilder was spark Usyk. So those are those fanboys when you hear them saying he could beat Anthony Joshua, he could beat Fury. Like he can't beat. I don't think Usyk could beat the big dogs.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do against Big Baby Miller? You know what I mean? Like,
So you imagine what would Usyk do against Tyson Fury? Fury can do everything Usyk can do, and he's way bigger.
Way bigger, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's part of the fascination of Usyk, though.
It is, man.
That's the part of the fascination. How far will he go? It's going to be interesting to watch, and I think Chisora is his first real step. into revealing what's gonna happen. What is gonna happen? God of War says it's a good fight, but we've seen Chisora struggling with fighters who have two working feet. We have seen, well, you know, Chisora, if he's not up for it, he's not up for it. If he's not up for it, he's not up for it. He went to Monaco and had that fight with the guy whose name escapes me and lost to him. But it wasn't that the guy was just too much for him. It's just that Chisora just didn't have his head in it. Didn't have his head in it. Don Charles had some passport issues. I think Don Charles still got his African passport. Something happened. Don Charles explained why he couldn't make it over to Monaco. And he wasn't in Chisora's corner. And I think they're split after that. I think that was the last fight he had with Chisora. Oh, hold on. No. He was in Chisora's corner for one of the Dillian White fights. Was it the last Dillian White fight? Could be. Yeah, I think it was. So yeah, they split up. They split up after that fight. But yeah, it's going to be interesting times. Caballal. Thank you. God of War. And he fought Caballal over in Monaco. Even against Gashi. Yeah, Gashi as well. Cabal and Gashi. He looked flat. So, but I don't expect him to be flat against a big name. No,
I was going to say that. I think he'll get up for this one.
He'll definitely be up for this one. There won't be any motivation problems for this one. No way. And I think this is when Chisora's at his best. Chisora's at his best when he's fighting better opponents. When he's fighting lesser opponents, sometimes he has motivation issues. He goes in there and he's not firing on all cylinders. But in a fight like this, we're gonna see some of the best of Chisora, in my opinion. Certainly not the worst of Chisora. And there's a question about Chisora being past his prime. Yes, to an extent, from a biological perspective. But I think in terms of motivation, in terms of who he's training with right now, the emphasis being on fitness. There's a big fitness emphasis. I put it to you, Rasclat, that he's looking as good as he's ever looked, if not better in some regard.
Who's
Chisora? Chisora might be biologically past his prime, but in terms of motivation and his training now under David Haye, he's looking as good as he's ever looked.
Yeah, I think he looked good against his second fight with White also. Yeah.
So biologically, he may have passed his prime biologically, but sometimes I think environmentally, with who he's training with, physically, etc., physical conditioning, he's looked his best in recent times.
He might have changed his strength conditioning program.
Yes,
he might have changed his diet.
Yeah.
It's all technology and is way different now in terms of training.
Sports science.
Although I am a firm advocate and a firm believer that boxing training back in the days is more beneficial for a 15 round, but that's just my opinion. But aesthetically wise, everything else now is just a lot better.
Yes.
Yeah. If you look at his record recently, like he took Takam out, he was beating Dillian White till Dillian caught him with that hook. And then he's put together a couple of good stoppages of Spilker and David Price. So he's in a purple patch of form, he is fighting well.
Yeah, he is in a purple patch. That's a good way of saying it. Okay. And as we move on, what's the time saying now? Okay. So I see what's going on. What's the situation like? Okay, so I know what I'm going to do now. Where is it? I know what I have to do now. We're going to have to touch on this one. Real quick. So let me share my screen. As a matter of fact, let me try and upgrade. Let me try and do something differently. I'm always experimenting over here. Let's do this. Let's just do this. Let me create. Let me copy and paste. Move back to, yeah, just like that. Let me show, add, and show. How does that look? Boom. Okay, that's step one. Step two, let me share my screen. Okay, so Daniel Dubois versus Joe Joyce moved back to July 11th.
Yeah, that's a bar. That's cold.
Yeah,
That's some heartbreaking news.
Yeah. Following the guidelines and the advisory measures. Everybody mute your mics, please. Thank you. Following the guidelines and advisory measures announced by both the local government and the British Boxing Board of Control, Queensbury Promotions, led by Frank Warren, or Fish Eyes, Bricktop, felt it would be inappropriate to proceed with any forthcoming boxing promotions in front of live audiences during April and May. Okay, so the coronavirus situation is evolving rapidly. Frank Warren's company will continue to follow the government guidelines to ensure the health and the safety of the paying public, staff, and participants. Okay, so Seek and Destroy event being headlined by Daniel Dubois versus Joe Joyce on April the 11th at the O2 Arena has now been rescheduled to Saturday, July the 11th. So I repeat, it should have been on April the 11th, but now has been pushed back to July the 11th. What's that? April, May, June, July. That's 3 months, being pushed back by 3 months. Dang. Must be frustrating for the participants. Training camp, I guess, they're going to have to roll that down, wind that down now, because it's pushed back for 3 months. Although it will still be at the O2 Arena. Tickets will remain valid for the new date. However, people who cannot attend the new date can obtain a refund from their original point of purchase. And that's the news for that. Josh Taylor, world champion. No, I'm not going to go into that right now. We're going to stick onto the heavyweight situation. So, Marla. Joe Joyce versus Daniel Dubois pushed back for 3 months, now July the 11th.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. It's all pretty predictable. And I mean, I've sort of got, as I said earlier, I got to a point I'm prepared to not see any major boxing bouts for the rest of this year, because the government's, it's going to take a long time for the health ministries and the government to feel confident to allow thousands of people to go into an arena. So, I just think this is a lot worse than what some people actually realize.
3 months, being pushed back 3 months. Ross Clark.
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, it's being pushed back 3 months.
That's a long time. In that 3 months, what are they going to do? Are they supposed to train in those next 3 months and stay in shape?
Yeah.
Or wait the last 6-8 weeks before? I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm still picking Dubois to win. I think he's going to win. So but who knows? What if this breaks the momentum of we don't know. This is heartbreaking, because they probably was ready and fit, ready for the fight, and now they got to wait again.
Terrible.
One of them might come in overtrained. Who knows?
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Because they've already pretty much trained for this one. Now we're in March. It was only going to be 3 weeks away, so they pretty much done a complete training camp, and now they're going to have some downtime. I don't know, a week. They take a week up or de-train. They can't just stop, so I guess they're gonna have to stay in the gym for another week to de-train, or maybe get some stimulation, do some outdoors stuff outside of the gym just to ease them down. And then they're gonna be, it's the 3 month training camp, so they're gonna be back in the gym maybe a week after that. So one of them may be overtrained and one of them might be undertrained, or two of them might be overtrained, or two. It's mad. The permutations are crazy. They could both be overtrained. They could both be undertrained. They're probably going to be more likely to be overtrained than undertrained. And then maybe youth will be the factor there because, with youth, the younger guy tends to recover faster. So, there's so many variables involved in that.
Yeah, I'm going for Dubois. I'm going to go for Dubois in that fight. I think he's. I think Joyce is hittable.
Yeah.
And for a guy with Dubois, he's got good skills, good punching power. I think he'll be able to come out on top in the fight.
Should be.
Yeah, same here. And I think with Joe Joyce, if you want to talk about slow motion and just super this guy is literally he's probably more telegraphed than George Foreman, and this guy throws punches better than George Foreman.
Yeah.
This guy, you could literally see the punch coming. Like when he fought, if you go back to YouTube and watch him and Usyk fighting in the amateurs, I was like, wow, like this guy is one day going to be a professional.
Yeah.
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 Holy. Woo.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got Dubois winning. I had Dubois winning.
Phil Walker.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. This is one of those kind of things that's unfortunate that these guys don't get to square off as soon as we'd like them to. Yeah. But with that being said, I think I'll be honest with you. From what I can see, those guys always seem to be in pretty decent shape, especially Daniel Dubois, because, at one point in time he was having trouble getting fights. And, his whole main thing about training was always staying ready because he never knew when he would get a call. And I think he's probably carried on that tradition, considering now he's getting more fights. So I don't think he'll come in overtrained. I think he'll come in well prepared for the fight. As far as Joe Joyce is concerned, Joe Joyce also to me seems like the kind of guy that pretty much stays in pretty good shape. From what I can see, he doesn't seem like he balloons up or anything like that. Always got a nice stature, clean cut kind of guy. Tell you this right here. I don't think the increase in time as far as having to fight 3 months down the line, I don't think that will affect those guys. But my main concern is for Joe Joyce because we all know that he's on the clock. And I think he every day, every month, every week counts right now as far as his career is concerned. So I'm more concerned about that versus I am him overtraining or anything like that of that nature. But this is going to be one outstanding fight between these two guys, man. And, I can't wait until these guys actually square off so we can see who's going to prevail. I think as far as progressions, I think Dubois has, to me, progressed faster. He's shown me that he's working on his skills each and every fight. I can tell he brings a little bit more with each opponent, and to me, that's been a big key that he's trying to get better and he's putting in the work. As far as Joyce, you know what you're going to get from Joyce. He's going to come forward. He can be hit, but he is a very, very tough guy, and you just know what you're going to get from Joyce. With that being said, I haven't made my pick yet, but I got another 3 months to decide.
Yes. What am I saying about Daniel Dubois? Damn, that background's making me dizzy. That moving background's making me dizzy. Feel like I'm on a roller coaster. Let's come out of that. Okay. So, Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce. Yeah. The training issue. And for some of their trainers, I don't know. Hopefully they're seasoned. This is when you need a seasoned trainer. This is when you need seasoned conditioner to know how to periodize these things, how to scale it up, scale it down, and then get back into it again, because it's damn near almost 2 training camps. They're going to have damn near 2 damn training camps for this one fight. So, it's making sure they don't come in over conditioned, overworked. The science behind it. You can even get blood tests to make sure that you're not overtrained. These days, there are scientific procedures to make sure you are not overtrained.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Ralph, you know, I get those tests performed about every 3 months to make sure that I'm not overtraining or overworking my body, because, you know, I got a pretty strenuous job, and I also go to the gym after work and work out then as well. So it was recommended by my nutritionist and as well as my doctor that I get those tests performed every 3 to 4 months. So absolutely.
Makes sense. Makes 100% sense. So we'll have to wait for that fight. What does God of War say? God of War says I doubt we'll be seeing big events in the next 6 months. Horrible. That would be horrible. Yeah, I hope it doesn't come to that. Hope it doesn't come to that. But we shall see. Okay, so what's the time saying? Okay, I think we're coming up to maybe our last topic. We're coming up to our last topic, and without much further ado, let's get, what do I need to do here? I know there's something that I need to do. I know what I haven't done. I know what I need to do. Let's do this immediately. Let's save that. Boom. I think my computer's going to get plugged up with stuff one of these days. I'm going to have to maybe clean out at some point. But let's upload. Let's upload that. And let's upload that and show it. Okay. Uno momento as we move on, as we come into what could be our final topic. Let's see if we can get the picture up. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So let me move over. Okay, so unfair boxing news here. Unfair boxing news. Everybody mute yourselves, please, while I just read this a little bit of this article over here. Okay, so Tyson Fury slams cheetah Vladimir Klitschko. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show this. Let me share this. Let me take that down and share this with you so you can see for yourselves. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so Tyson Fury slams cheetah Vladimir Klitschko and claims he played 5 tricks to try and influence the fight. Okay, this article is from yesterday, Talk Sports, if you want to know the source. Okay, so the Brit insists he has no respect for the Ukrainian as a person. Damn. Okay, so Tyson Fury has claimed that Vladimir Klitschko attempted to cheat in their 2015 fight with 5 different tricks before even the ring of the bell for the first round. Damn. Okay, so Fury famously upset Klitschko to claim the unified heavyweight titles in Dusseldorf, Germany, ending the champion's historic reign. Okay, so however, events before the bout soured Tyson Fury's memories of the great champion that he had beat. Okay, Fury explained at the speaking event, "I'm a boxing historian, especially when it comes to the heavyweights. Klitschko was a good champion and done well in his career. But as a person, I have no respect for him. None at all." Damn, bear in mind, this was the speaking event. Okay, so the man's a cheater. The man's an out-and-out cheater. He's a jealous person and he's resentful. When I went to fight Klitschko, it was my first time stepping up, and I was a 10-1 underdog. The win meant so much to him that he was gonna do anything to get it. I mean, anything. And even when it means cheating, he had no problem with it. Okay, there we see Tyson Fury on the scale there. Looking rather svelte. Okay, even the week of the fight, they messed around with the weighing scales to start with. They said I weighed 17 stone 9 pounds. I've not been 17 stone 9 pounds since I was about 10 years old. It was another of his elements, another twist in the mind games. Because you think you've lost a stone in weight. Even my Uncle Peter said, I thought you'd been eating. Have you not been eating your food? I said, I'm 18 stone 4. We went back to my scales, and I was 18 stone 4 on that one, the little cheat. Okay, I said to him across the weighing, you've rigged the scales. While you're at it, you can take them heels out. Take them heels out your shoes as well. You got the insoles. Take the instep out. Take the heels off. You're not as tall as you're trying to look. What's going on? He was as tall as me. Vladimir is 6'5". I don't look up at a 6'5" man. I said, you've got stilts in your shoes, like platforms. So that was two things. That was the second thing. First, he rigged the scales. Then he came on. Then he starts wearing platforms. That's two things. Next came the famous incident that dominated the talk on fight day, the ring canvas controversy. Fury continued. Then the day of the fight, I go down to the venue, like I do every time, to check the venue out and check out the ring. I get in the ring, and there's 10 inches of foam in the ring. It was like a memory foam mattress. I was walking on a mattress. I got on it, and I said to my dad and my Uncle Peter, I can't fight on this ring. It felt like I was trying to walk on the moon. It's energy sapping. And the thing is that I'm a mover. So I wanted to take my legs away. Damn. Sneaky, tricky. Johnny Nelson, Sky Pundit, who visited Klitschko during preparations, told me he was training on the same canvas in Austria in his training camp. So he was used to it. Damn. For the first time in a long time, he was boxing someone who wasn't bothered about how much money he was getting. He wasn't bothered about winning his belts. I was there to win. He wasn't bothered about winning his belts. I was there to win. If he's done that to me, how many other people has he done it to over the career? And how many people needed that money and didn't say anything? Damn. I was like, I don't need the fight anyway, so I'll just go home. Within an hour left to go, there was still no fight on. We were going home. I had my flights and everything planned to leave. In the end, Vitaly said, take it out. And then it was a normal mattress. Damn. Now this article's a bit longer than I thought. How far are we gonna go with this? Let's go to the last point. Let's go to the last point. Where's the last point? And then there was a problem with the gloves. Holy macaroni. Don't tell me there's more glove problems. Holy macaroni. And there was a problem with the gloves. In the world title fight, as the mandatory challenger, you can pick your gloves, whatever you want to wear. The gloves I ordered were puncher's gloves. And the gloves they gave me were like two big cushions. OMG. OMG, more glove gate. They said, these are the gloves. These are the gloves we have. Take them or leave them. Damn. I said, you know what? Give me the gloves. I'm not bothered about the gloves. At that point, we couldn't fly any gloves in. It was too late in the day. So we took the Ishii gloves that I didn't want. And that was another thing. In championship fights, the person from the opposite team comes into the changing rooms and watches you get your hands wrapped. Vitaly was in my changing room, so we sent my dad to go into his changing room and watch him get wrapped up. But by the time my dad got there, he'd already wrapped up, bandages on, and gloves on, ready to go. So dad says, take them off, or we're going home again. Anyway, my dad stormed out of the changing room and had an argument with his manager. He said, come on, let's go home. They're cheating. Damn, more glove gate. At that point, I'm thinking, God almighty, does it mean this much? Do you have to mess around this much to get a victory over a 10-1 underdog? Every single cheat he tried, we pulled him up on it. We made him change, and fair play. I believe Vladimir was already beaten before he got into the ring that night. Watching him walk to the ring, he had a face of a loser straight away because all of his little antics didn't work. All I had to do was go in there and play my part to win. Damn. Well, that article proved to be more interesting than even I had anticipated. I hadn't read it first, but you heard what Tyson Fury had to say. You heard what Tyson Fury had to say. So let's go over. Stop sharing. Let's go over who we lost. We've lost Ross Clark. So, and now we are 3. Thanks for jumping on, Ross Clark. Okay, Marla, you want to have a first nibble at that?
Yeah, I don't know if he's trying to bring it all up to deflect from all the accusations he's had against him.
OMG, it's a strange time for the article to appear. That's why I read the date. Why I read the date. It was yesterday. It's just fresh. He said it last year. Where are we now? We're 3 months into this year. I know he was doing some speaking tours late last year. So, because he cut his eye. He cut his eye in the Wallen fight. And so he was doing a lot of speaking engagements, staying after the ring. So, I guess that's when that would have come up. But it's how Ross Clark, where is he? Ross Clark says, Raphie Dawkins Combat Radio. I have to cook dinner, brother. Peace out, and thanks for having me on. Much appreciated. Ross Clark's got his own channel. For sure, go check him out. Much appreciated, Ross Clark. Marla.
I don't know why he's bringing it up. All the stuff's coming out. I mean, it's sort of, maybe it's a bit of a deflection, but he won the fight against Vlad, and I just let it rest if I was him. It's sort of, you got the win, you got the belts, got on you. I wouldn't worry about it.
But you know what's interesting to me is because some of the points he made there were interesting points. They were interesting and, well, you could say valid. There's some valid points there. But you know what crossed my mind? Why the article? So why am I getting these notifications every second? Let me just put the notifications on mute. Put them on mute for an hour. And then we're good. You know what struck me is really interesting about all of that is that the question arises. The question arises. How much shenanigans goes on in fighting, and I'll just say heavyweight fighting because these things have been popping up now around this fight, the Wilder 2 fight. These things keep coming up. Who was that guy? John McDermott. John McDermott came out with a recent interview with a big channel, and he said that. He told a story. Probably a lot of people probably haven't seen it. I covered it in the video. He told a story that Tyson Fury, when they fight, they had their second fight. Because remember, John McDermott is the guy who a lot of people think beat Tyson Fury in the first fight. He tells the story of their second fight. He said, there was a glove issue because Tyson Fury was fighting in puncher's gloves, as Tyson mentioned again here. People say Tyson Fury is not a heavy puncher, but he likes the puncher's glove. In the Reyes with the horsehair. He likes those. So whatever power he's got can transfer. So he was fighting. John McDermott said Tyson Fury was fighting in the puncher's glove when it came for him to get gloved up, which he didn't know. And he was fighting in some big, heavy padded gloves, And John McDermott said his father said, or his trainer said, he's fighting in gloves that can give you brain damage. And he's got you fighting in gloves to prevent brain damage. And they didn't know. He'd been arranged with Frank Maloney. Frank Maloney, remember the ex-trainer of the ex-manager for one time of Lennox Lewis. Frank Maloney, he then changed his name, became a lady, cross, whatever. I don't know the term. And he knew about it, but McDermott didn't know about it. So what happens is what I'm seeing here. What I'm seeing here is there's a pattern. There's a pattern emerging of glove situations. Marla, there's a pattern.
There is. It is becoming more common. I think, was there Dillian White also had a fight?
Dillian White had an issue with gloves.
Yeah.
Dillian White had an issue with gloves. But what I'm saying is that Tyson Fury, although we're not with the glove gate and all that nonsense, but what is undeniable is that Tyson Fury seems to have a history of having glove issues.
He does, man. Yeah.
We can't deny it. We can't deny it. We're not going to go into the glove gate nonsense. Not to that extent, but it's coming out. Stories are coming out. I'm not looking for them. They're jumping at me. McDermott, I did a video on it. I did the video before. I think was it before Glovegate started? I don't know. Or maybe it had just started, but it hadn't ramped up to what it's become. That's when I did the video. And then people keep on coming out now. And then he himself is saying there's an issue with Vladimir Klitschko and the gloves. And there seems to be some things that we were never aware of with Tyson Fury and issues with gloves.
And it can't be a coincidence that it keeps happening.
It keeps happening. There's something going on. Not what they say is going on, but there's something going on. Marla.
They're trying to get an advantage, some kind of advantage with the gloves. You know, it's not a good look for him.
No, absolutely not. Something is got, and then I'll say. So I bit my tongue at the time. But I'm going to bring it up again because AJbxng. If you haven't checked out EJ's interview with Asprey, or is it Mike Asprey? Something. You remember the time when that guy was in the training camp with Nick Asprey. That guy was in training camp with Fury. And he did a video saying, hey, look at these gloves. Look at the gloves Tyson Fury wearing for sparring. Do you remember that? Do you remember that time?
I do, man. Yep.
And I did the video because I believed him. I believed that there was a charge to be answered in part or whole. That's why I did the video. But then I did it because the real tester is when you bring it on live and talk on live, you know, when people can speak live. So I played the video on the live show to have people talk about it. And the majority decision, as I recall, the consensus opinion was no, there's nothing wrong with the gloves. He's making it all up. And I thought that was a consensus opinion. So I thought, well, maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree here. Maybe there's nothing there. Everybody, the majority, the consensus is saying there's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. But Marla, I put it to you, in light of all the glove issues, that maybe, could it have been true? The allegation at the time?
I think so. I mean, when you got what you've got to, so the only other way you can look at it are all these people lying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These accusations are not being made at other fighters. They just it's the same accusation keeps being made against Fury.
Yes.
So the chances are they are getting up to some shenanigans in the camps and, you know, with the gloves.
Yes. I believe the reason I made the video is because I believe there was a charge to be answered. I believed, hold on, because this was before any issues of gloves. This just popped up. This popped up individually, randomly, came out of nowhere. Nothing was being talked about his gloves. This guy just made a video saying, look at this. Look at this. And another thing that got to me was that he was angry. He was angry. And that, to me, suggested, he seemed genuinely angry. So that, to me, suggested that everything that he had in that video, saying, these are his sparring gloves. This is what he's punching us with. This is what he's punching us with. And the counter argument was that, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Why would he try to be punching people in gloves with less padding? That would hurt his hands. My counter to that was, well, you just have more padding on your hands. to reserve the hand, but it still didn't answer the question. Why are you trying to punch up your sparring partner? Why are you trying to do that? And I don't think we have the answer to that question. But it sheds a different light on that video now after the suggestion by different parties at different times that they people who fought him say they had issues. There was glove issues.
Yeah, it's obvious that there's probably there's something to it, because it's not other fighters that are getting accused of this all the time. It's Fury over and over again. And like, if one person comes out and says it, you can say, okay, maybe I don't believe them. But when it keeps happening with different individuals, there comes a point you got to start looking at them and looking at Fury and asking the hard questions. And you know, if they're going, if Fury is going to fight AJ or he's going to fight Wilder again in a third fight, they have got to make sure that the gloves are under real close scrutiny so that there's no glove gate again. You know what I mean? They're going to have to keep on top of this, man.
Yeah, they're going to have to keep well on top of it. I mean, you know, like I said, we are not like the L. We are nothing to do with the LDBC. We oppose the LDBC in the main, and I'm not anywhere near down with the fist was in the wrist. I don't believe the fist was in the wrist.
I don't buy that crap.
I don't believe that nonsense. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about fist in the wrist. That's nonsense to me. But what isn't nonsense is the fact that you've got multiple different people in multiple different parts of the world saying that I fought him and there was an issue with the gloves, either in the ring or even before you get to the ring with the glove selection. Why would Fury want to wear Rhea's gloves, horsehair, and want the other guy in some memory foam mattress on his hands?
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious he wants to get an advantage with the gloves.
Yep, totally, man.
That is become very, very clear. And he hasn't helped himself. He's kind of hurt people who were defending him on the gloves. And people were defending him on the gloves, and now we're looking back, some objective people like myself are looking back and saying, hold on, slow down. Why are so many different people in different places at different times saying there was an issue with the gloves with you?
Yep. And then he's got the nandrolone issue, testing positive for the nandrolone, and ended up getting a ban. It's not good for the guy, you know?
It don't look good. It does not look good. It don't look good, Phil Walker.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Look, let me tell you something. Right now, okay, as far as these things that Fury is alleged that Vladimir Klitschko did, is nothing in comparison to actually cheating. Like taking a banned substance in order to give you a competitive edge as far as performance is concerned. That's what Tyson Fury did, okay? So when you talk about Vladimir Klitschko playing all these mind games with Tyson Fury as far as the canvas and the scales and, you know, all that kind of stuff, you know, I really wouldn't consider that cheating. You understand what I'm saying? Because it didn't give him a competitive edge. Now, it may have given him a mental edge, no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, whenever you inject an illegal or a banned substance into your body in order to give you a competitive edge, that's actually cheating. Okay? So Tyson Fury needs to just be careful about the kind of things that he's speaking on right now. If I was the guy, I mean, he has no reason to be talking about Vladimir Klitschko right now, 5 years later. And you know, right now, the guy's supposed to be enjoying life. Okay, all the glove gate stuff, all that stuff. You know, I don't think Tyson Fury is even concerned about all of that stuff. So, I mean, at the end of the day, he is now the WBC champion. Okay, I don't think glove gate is going to go any farther than it's gone. If it does, I'd be very surprised. But why dig up this Vladimir Klitschko foolishness when you're the one that actually cheated during the match? So my deal is this right here. Hey, Fury, look, just chill, relax. You just got back in the training camp, grind hard, and come out with, of course, no doubt, gloves that look normal. So again, it won't be another glove gate, right? And win like a lot of people think that you're going to do anyway. Just, sometimes, nothing said is the best thing that you can do. It's just be quiet and put your head down and grind.
Now, you see, it's very interesting. It's very interesting because I always described, anybody who checks out the live will have heard me use the term of Tyson Fury. The term I often used was fiddly. He's fiddly. Now, okay. Now, interestingly, let's do this for fun. Let's go over and type in and look for the dictionary definition of fiddly. This is going to be interesting. I haven't done it before. Fiddly. Let's look at the definition of that. It's going to be interesting. Let me share the screen. Let me share the screen. This is funny. Funny. Let me share this. Uno momento. Mommy, slow up your tempo. Boom. Don't even know if you can see that too good. Hold on. I learned a new skill. Live on the show the other day. Bam. Damn. Okay. Fiddly. So, adjective. Complicated or detailed and awkward to do or use. Fiddly. It's fiddly. Small movements, small intricate movements that are hard to detect. It's like a magician that's moving your hands in a particular way to disguise what you're doing. Fiddly is the word I use to describe Tyson Fury's style. And so clearly he was doing some things that I didn't quite understand, couldn't quite see. I knew something was going on, Marla. I knew something was going on, but I couldn't quite tell what it was.
Yeah.
And then with the Wilder fight, everything gets scrutinized and you have to watch the fight again and slow it down. And all of a sudden, I understand what I meant when I used the words fiddly. It's because all of his tricks, he's got a bag of tricks. Now, be clear, this ain't slandering the man, but this is saying, what we found out is that the man is the definition of fiddly, Marla.
Oh yeah, there's shenanigans going on with the gloves, mate. I have no doubt about that. Yeah. From his track record, they play around with the gloves and
something's going on.
Yeah.
The wrist is not in the fist, but something, Marla, something is going on.
Whether they're taking padding out of gloves or they're getting them with the knockout glove and giving the other guy the heavily padded glove so that he can't get knocked out. They're looking for advantage with the gloves.
They're looking for advantages with the gloves. And I reiterate and I restate, we're not down with what the LDBC is saying. They're crazy. They're mad. You can't fit no fist in the wrist. And let's get it on record. The guy who came up with that, Young Pharaoh, he is not a boxing channel. It's not a boxing channel that came up with that. Now, let's get into it. This is our final topic, but let's get into it a little bit deeper. Nobody complained about the fiddliness in the first fight, but yet that's when most of the fiddliness occurred. Phil Walker. Nothing was said. Nothing was said about the first fight. Everything was up and up, but that's where apparently most of the fiddling occurred.
Well, yeah, I find that very odd that no one said anything about the first fight. But Tyson Fury looked a lot different in the second fight than he did in the first fight. Maybe it was because, you know, he was only throwing some rounds. He only threw 12 punches, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's kind of hard to tell if the glove is, you know, tainted or fiddled with if, you know, you're only throwing 12 to 15 punches per round.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, I just think that it probably is something that these guys are doing with the gloves. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think it's so much on fight night versus you know, as far as sparring and stuff like that. Now, it could be something in the contracts that says, hey, you need to fight in these really, really, you know, big foamy gloves, and I get to use horsehair, right?
Yeah.
So it could be something along those lines that could be done. But again, that's part of your contract negotiations, you know.
Should be.
So a lot of guys don't even pay attention. They just like, hell, just give me whatever gloves you know the other guys fighting in. I guess, you know, I don't know how that goes, but I seen somebody mention Mayweather and Maidana. I remember specifically Mayweather looking at Maidana's gloves and saying, "It's not enough cushion in these. He can't wear these. No way, Jose. He can't wear them." So with that being said, hey, look, we got this second fight coming.
Yeah.
Whatever has been done in the past, as far as the gloves are concerned, on fight night, as far as Fury's sparring partners coming in and sparring him, I could rest assure you that the gloves are going to be closely monitored. And at this point in time, at this tenure, that is the most that a fan or a spectator can ask for, is for the commission to pay close attention to the gloves, for the coaching staffs of each respective team to pay close attention to the gloves, and make sure that there's no foul play by any of the guys.
Yeah.
That's the most you can ask for in this situation. And I think that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to come from this. And I think it's going to come from this as far as a lot of the heavyweight fights are concerned, especially considering the Dillian White fiasco as well that happened several months back against Oscar Rivas. Again, it is something that is major within the heavyweight division, as we're starting to realize here now, because people are putting so much emphasis on it. But I think here and beyond is going to be something that's going to be paid close attention to. And again, that's good for boxing. That's good for the fighters. Everything's even keeled, and that's how we get decisive wins without any glove gates, spot gates, lock gates, all that. Just throw all it out of the window, man, and let's just box and have a nice, clean fight.
100%. And if I come in on that one, I think I'll come in on that one as we draw to the end of the show. Something's going on. Something's going on with Tyson Fury in gloves. There's something weird going on. I always called him Fiddly. There's also the McDermott. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about that God of War. I did a video of that. I'll put the link of my video of that in the permanent chat immediately after the show, and I'll put the link of the Nick Asprey video that I did. I'll put that immediately in the normal comment section rather than the chat comment section. I'll put it in there, so boom, you can go to it immediately. And it's not anti-Tyson Fury, it's just acknowledging. It's acknowledging the fact that, hold on, this guy's been having issues with gloves for how long? For the longest time. And then my mind strays back to the term that I used, fiddly. Fiddlies, because it's hard to describe, it's hard to say what. It's just awkward. Something awkward or some things awkward are going on, but they're hard for the eye to detect. Do I believe in the LDBC theory of the wrist in the fist? Absolutely, hell to the no. I do not. Absolutely not. What I do know is that he hits with the inside of the glove. We found that out. We can see that with the inside of the glove with a cuffing motion to straighten up the head, and then boom, it's a good technique. It's a good technique. And then we have to take it one step further to say, well, yeah, there's the you know, is he ever, when he does the inside of the glove, does he ever catch with the wrist? Is he using the bandaging along the wrist? Is he using that as a cuff? Because if you get hit with the wrist, it can be quite concussive. You get a good swing on it. So you got the inside of the glove, stroke wrist, and then you have the flicking, the Muhammad Ali flicking, the flicking of the jab. Yeah, there you go. Too fast for you to see. Too fast for you to see. The flicking, but once again, we know that's a technique. We know that technique. We see that technique, but we probably didn't see the wrist. We probably didn't see any wrist contact, and I can't say I have. But I'm wondering now: is that part of the fiddliness? Is that part of the trickery? Is that part of the trickery? Is that an element? Is there an element of that? Because from my personal perspective, it would make sense. If you're hitting with the inside of the glove, why not go with the actual wrist sometimes? Very clever, very tricky, very fiddly. So I'm going to put those videos up again because we have to be objective and down the line here. The LDBC have gone way too far. But there is a middle ground where we can acknowledge that there's something or things going on that we have missed, and it's kind of embarrassing. It's kind of embarrassing when there's something right in front of your eyes that you don't see. So I'm going to have to do some further investigation with the techniques. First, one, we know the inside of the glove. Yes, one. That's one. Does he sometimes go up to the wrist? Sometimes. I suspect so. Very clever. Does he use the Muhammad Ali flicking jab? Yes. Is that terrible? I don't think it is terrible. No. Illegal? Yes. Terrible? Not really. But anyway, it's a technique that's been used oftentimes. We've often seen it. It's nothing new. So there's the inside of the glove, potentially wrist, the flicking jab. Those are the things we see. And then the glove themselves, he likes the horsehair. He likes to get that power punch in. So are the hands more heavily wrapped in training? If there's padding taken out, or not necessarily taken out, but the gloves been worn down and using those to spar people, not cool. So I think all in all, we're talking about techniques which some of which are not illegal, but things that make you go, crafty, very, very crafty, intelligent operator, more tricks than a circus poodle. Very clever, very crafty, but going into the fight as we close, final words, going into the fight, Marla, what are they going to do to make sure there's no repercussions? What can the opponent, because you know that Wilder now is going to be, his eyes are going to be out on stalks. Joshua now, he's going to say, whoa, the whole Joshua camp are going to say, whoa, the gloves, Tyson Fury gloves. Marla.
Yeah, they're going to have to, well, they're obviously going to have to be in the contracts, agree on the brand of gloves, the type of gloves, weight, everything. It has to be stipulated in contract.
Yep.
The gloves are going to have to be brought into the dressing rooms. They're going to have to watch Fury. So there's no doubts they're going to have Wilder's people in his dressing room when he gets his hands wrapped.
Yeah.
When he gets his gloves put on, there's going to have to be people kept in the rooms from the moment he gets the gloves are inspected before they're put on.
Yep.
The moment they're put on, there is someone in that room watching until Fury comes out to the ring, so there can be no accusation that they messed with the gloves when everyone left the room.
But here's the thing, Marla. Here's the thing. That's not that, even that won't be enough, because there's allegations that during the fight, techniques are being used. There's a video up about I don't know how true it is, but I have seen the video, but I want to see. The clip isn't enough. It would have to be a longer video that I'd have to see. But there's a video out of Ricky Hatton. Apparently, according to the video, which I'm not going to endorse, I can't say because I would need to see seconds before and seconds after the little small clip that they show, where Ricky Hatton puts his hand on the left glove, and according to the video, it looks like he pulls the glove down from the wrist. Have you seen that? Have you seen that video?
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Right. I'm not endorsing it because I need a longer video. I need to know when in the fight. I need to know when it was so I can watch it for myself during the fight. So I have a better perspective. I need some seconds before it, and I need some seconds after it. But there's a video out of Ricky Hatton. According to the video, he seems to pull the glove, the left glove, further down the wrist, Marla.
And that was on Fury, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. And what fight was it? Do you know?
I'm assuming it was one of the Wilder fights, the first or second. I don't know. I'm going to have to do further investigation.
Okay.
Like I say, I'm not endorsing it because I would need the clip is too small. He could have just rested his hand on it and just in real time it might look like nothing, but it's slowed down, and the way it looks is as if Ricky Hatton pulls the glove, his left glove, down further down the wrist of Tyson Fury.
Yeah, well, that's something you have to look at.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to look at that to make a proper assessment because the clip's too small in duration, and also it's been slowed down. So for all I know, he could have just happened to rest his hand on the glove and then take it off. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's gonna have to be investigated further.
Has to be investigated further. Can't endorse it right now. But so what I'm saying is that the commission guys who are in the corner at all times, they have to be instructed to watch the gloves at all times, even during the fight, Marla, when he comes back to the corner.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, there's gonna have to be someone there making sure there's no
Skullduggery.
Yep, skullduggery. Definitely, man.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if he beats Wilder,
yes,
people are just going to say, "Oh, yeah, it's going to be like this fight. It's going to be like the last fight."
Yeah, it's good. They're going to on it. They're going to try and put an asterisk on the win if he wins next time. They're going to say, "Oh, the gloves."
Yeah, man.
So those gloves have to be scrupulously washed. The hand wraps have to be watched. When the glove goes on, it has to be washed. He has to be watched. Those gloves have to be washed from that point up to the ring, and then they have to be watched every time he comes back to his corner.
Totally, man. Totally, mate. Yep.
To make things, up on the up and up, so there's no ambiguity, there's no crying, there's no weeping, wailing, or gnashing of teeth. Phil Walker.
Yeah, again, I think it's a couple different things they can do to monitor the gloves, of course. I think they can monitor the gloves by one, because, of course, you're going to have somebody in there while you're doing the reps and the gloves are getting put on, right? But they're saying that it's funny business after all that stuff occurs. So one thing I think that could probably minimize that is you need to get somebody from Wilder's team to not leave the site, not leave, keep eyes on Fury and his team the entire time, even through the ring walk and whatnot. And they need to, of course, limit how many people are in the corner once they get to the ring in between rounds. So with that being said, all you can do is pay close attention to it and make sure there's not any funny business going on. But I think if somebody is walking with Fury to the ring or monitoring Fury on his way to the ring and monitoring his guys, and in between rounds, you have somebody monitoring that from the opposing team, as well as somebody that is certified by the commission to watch that, then, I don't think it should be a big issue. And, every now and then the referee should probably, before the bell rings, go over there and just kind of feel his glove. You know what I mean?
Has to be instructed to do that. Has to be instructed to do that, though. It's funny.
like a random drug test. You know what I mean? Like, hey, hey, look, man, that glove is looking real shaky last round, man. Let me go ahead and touch that up a little bit. I don't know. I don't know.
You know what that would be? They're gonna have to have random glove tests. They're gonna have to have random glove tests through the fight.
hey, that's real, man. I mean, look, it don't take nothing for the referee to touch the gloves before the round starts. You know what I mean?
Touch them. Touch the glove. Touch the glove.
That's it.
Touch it. Touch the glove. Just feel around. Hey, check where the knuckles are, Marla.
Yeah, man. Make sure the glove. Yep. Between each round, make sure the gloves are on properly.
Make sure the gloves are on properly, so there can't be no repeat of this, because this is unsavory. It's fortunately it's primarily addressing the first fight. The guy got TKO'd. Wilder got TKO'd in the second fight. There can't be too much of an argument, and everybody acknowledges this is primarily an issue with the first fight. Even the people who bring it up are acknowledging this is primarily an issue with the first fight. So he knocked him in, TKO'd him fair and square so it seems, in my opinion. But they put up this thing with the gloves, and other people are coming out with the glove thing, telling their stories about the gloves. There's a bit of an asterisk around Tyson Fury now with gloves. I believe Nick Asprey that there's something wasn't right with the gloves in that training camp that Nick Asprey was in. I believed him at the time. Everybody poo-pooed it. Most people poo-pooed it. So I said, maybe I'm wrong. Leave it alone. But I don't know. Things turn around. New information comes up, and an old investigation gets reopened when new information arises. And it's only right that we acknowledge that, hey, going forward, Tyson Fury has to be watched with his gloves, because enough of a stink has been kicked up that some legitimate claims from previous guys who fought him previously have to be considered now. And we made it through. I found out another big YouTuber, one of the biggest, had a live show over here on the UK shores at the same time as mine. It affected my numbers, damn it. But it's okay, because we still proceed. We still get the thing to market. I told you, if I have to carry it on my back, we will get the thing to market. And consistency pays, folks. Consistency pays. And look here, we had a beautiful show. Had a close, intimate group of boxing talk with Raphie subscribers. We had a great show. Not the masses. We had a great show, nonetheless. Great information given to you, great information shared, great discussion had. And so with that, I have to thank Marla for jumping on. Marla, thank you for jumping on. Any final words?
Oh, I just hope that, they can sort this virus out, and hope we actually see some boxing this year.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Thank you, Marla, and catch you in the week.
Yep.
And cheers, mate. And then we were left with Phil Walker. Thanks for jumping on, my friend. It was a great show. The masses did not show up, but we still had a great show. Great entertainment, great information, great conversation. The final word, my friend.
Yeah, man, without a doubt, man. The show was amazing as always. And, my main thing is safety first as far as this virus is concerned. I know us as sports fans, we're hurting right now. Yeah. But, again, safety first. It's for our benefit, as well as the athletes that go out and perform benefits to get this virus under control. So, as all things do, it shall pass and life will go on, and we will get back to some great boxing as well as other sporting events and entertainment entirety. So, again, man, I appreciate you having me on the chat, the call. Hey,
100%.
Raphael Dawkins, man, Combat Radio. Always a pleasure.
That's what's up. Phil Walker from Big Texas joining us. Much appreciation goes over to him. And then there was one. Yeah, then there was one. Okay, we had a great show. Somebody else, big UK channel, had a live show going at the same time. It affected our numbers, but it did not affect the quality of the conversation. So that means we had a great time nonetheless. So you know what it is. It's Boxing Talk with Raphie. And it's the God of War. It's the BH. It's the Ross Clark. Ross Clark jumped on with us. Much appreciation goes out to Ross Clark, Marla, Phil Walker. And who else do we have? Yeah, the Marcus Lawa was up in the building. And of course, the Pablo Diablo. Much appreciation goes out to all of you who spent time out of your evening, your day, your afternoon, your morning, be that what it may. Spend some time over here with us. The Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio Boxing Talk with Raphie. Episode, what was it? 107. What did we talk about? We talked about Alejandra. What's the surname? Alejandra Jimenez. We talked about the passing of Roger Mayweather, uncle of Floyd. May he rest in peace. We talked about Charles Martin's interest in fighting the winner of White v. Povetkin. Of course, Alejandra Jimenez being stripped by the WBO for her super middleweight belt from the WBO. We talked about Alexander Usyk and his upcoming fight with Derek Chisora. We talked about the virus killing off the sport. But yeah, the main thing is we talked boxing. And the only thing left for me to say is watch out for Boxing Talk with Raphie Mondays and Wednesdays, 10 p.m. UK time. Don't forget about the videos. Check out the videos. And don't forget to hit the like button. If you're not subscribed already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you want to take that step further, don't hesitate to hit that dollar sign and contribute to the live shows at your leisure. And the PayPal button is in the description box. Feel free to use that also. And but mainly, the main way of supporting the channel is to be here, right here on Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio, Boxing Talk with Raphie. And that's all we have for tonight. But thank you for joining, one and all. And as you know, the way we end the show, I say the magic word. Blessed.